a touchdown. You are looking at one of the most famous number 6s, I think, in history. Our Lady of the Lake senior stalwart, none other than my good friend, Mike Sullivan. When you see these incredible moments of your senior year at Our Lady of the Lakes, primed to go and play football in college, what does it remind you of?
Oh, my God. It reminds me, look at that, throw from the 50-yard line, carry that to the 5.
Look at that arm. Look at the grace, Mike.
Man, I love that. I love those days. Those are so much fun. Dan, Dave, how are you guys? Good to talk to you as always, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, Mike. We got a lot
Good to see you, Sully.
Absolutely,
welcome
Dave.
to the task force, Mike Sullivan, of course, our special guest tonight. And Mike, before we get into anything else, I did want to ask you about this because, you gave up playing football to get into broadcasting. You were going to play at St. Joseph's in Indiana. Was that a tough decision?
Yeah, well, one of the toughest decisions in my life, man. So I played there for a year, and I always joke that once I realized I wasn't going to the NFL, I had to do something with my life, right? So I stopped playing, went into radio, and that worked out. But I will tell you this, just being real, it was a very, very eerie feeling for me when I decided to leave 97.1 recently, obviously. It's twice in my life I felt like that. Once when I decided to stop playing football, and then the other one, that exact same feeling was when I decided to leave 97.1. So big decisions, bittersweet stuff, but it was very, very similar, that type of feeling.
Yeah, well, Mike, you led right into where I wanted to start. And we have, as I mentioned, a lot to get to. We got a DTM 101 starring Sully. We're going to talk about your brand new ventures, which I'm very excited about, and we're all excited about for you. But let's talk about this because I never would speak for you. People asked me this the last several weeks, and obviously I would never do that anyway. But I want to just give you a moment here because now that it's over, before you left, I'm sure it was, as you mentioned, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, conflicted, all that kind of stuff. But people have asked me a lot, what was the decision-making and what was the reasoning for you to leave? You were part of a great show. You've done so – and I've said this many times to you, Mike, and we'll talk about it again tonight. Your ascension in your life and career has been incredible. And we've always had that special connection, you and I, Mike, from the second I met you when you were interning. But let everyone know that maybe has not heard. I know you talked about it a lot on your final show and on social media, but let the people that have not known why you left, what went into that, Mike?
Yeah, no, it certainly was I describe it as it was of course it was a tough decision. It was a big decision, but it was also an easy decision for me. It was with what, what I've been able to build. There's going to be a really big video announcement type thing we're doing tomorrow. Kyle Bogey and I, obviously, who used to be at 97.1 as well, I have really partnered and been doing some awesome stuff. Started our own marketing company. It's just been so busy. Brand 25 Media, brand25media.com. You can check it out. Average person spends 25% of their day on their phone. You branded that. But no, so
I'm 50%.
Yeah, you're even more. But it honestly, it got to a point where it was so busy, and I knew that I really wanted to dive into it. And Kyle and I have just been, it's to the point where we've had to hire some people. It's just been crazy. And Metro Detroit Golfers has been, I'm pointing to the wrong one. Metro Detroit Golfers has been huge too, the largest golf community in Michigan already. So my point is, it was to a point where I would work before work, I'd go to work, and then I'd work after work. And it really just got to that level where I knew it was time to make a jump. I knew it was time to take a risk. And kind of what put it over the top for me was, I really have always had a huge desire to build a business. It's been a huge life goal of mine. I really, really am passionate about it. And what Kyle and I have been able to do, and he's been incredible, has been something I just really believe in. Really, I've really bought into it. And I don't think I could really live with myself looking back and thinking, hey, you know what? I never took a chance. If this fails, and I certainly don't think it will, but if it does, I can at least look back and say I gave it my all. I tried my hardest, and you do something else. But I can't look back and say that I never really tried to do something.
Yeah, and Mike, it's not going to fail, A. But B, I think this is an important message for everyone. And Dave and I have talked about this many times on this very show, that, the good things, the great things, the special things in life are not easy. And, I've gone through tough times that I've had to, get myself into the right kind of space to be able to move forward in my life and career. Dave has done the same thing. Dave had a tough situation recently where his longtime boss sadly passed away. And Dave was thrown into certain things. the best and most hardest decisions we make are the ones that I believe lead to great things. And you and I have talked about this a lot personally off the air. I could be happier for you. I know it's going to work. But like you said, whether it does or not, it's the fact that you are doing something that a lot of people can learn from. Because right now we're in a pandemic. Yeah. People are angry, Mike. They're frustrated.
I know.
This is a good time to do something if you can. And I take here's my hat. I take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
Because this is an inspirational thing in a lot of different ways, Mike.
No, I appreciate that. I think it's been something where, again, I'm really passionate about it and really I keep using the word dive in, and I've really just wanted to dive in and do this and really just try to crush it. And Kyle and I both. And you're right. It's the toughest decisions in life are the biggest decisions, right? There's a reason why it's a big life decision because it's not always easy, but I couldn't be more confident with what we're doing. Couldn't be more happy and excited just to continue get the ball rolling and we have a ton of stuff in the works. We just been super busy. The days of me rolling out of bed at 9:30 or 10 and planning the show and going into work, like I'm up at 6:30, 7 a.m. every day now doing stuff. It's it's really been fun so far just to dive in. I know I keep saying that and really just attack this like we have.
Dave, I know you got a chance to work with King Sullivan at 97.1. You guys worked together for a little while.
I basically just sat in the control room during a Tiger game, talked with him, a lot of Tiger games, and then Mike would come in and complain that the game wasn't going slow enough, and then Hatchet might come in, Roberto might come in, and so that was the extent of it, to be honest. I will say I give Mike a lot of credit. In my past, I had 2 opportunities to make life-changing decisions, and I did not take either of the opportunities.
Really? Okay.
Who knew what my life would have been, but I stayed put with what I had. And I would say this is a kind of a lot like anybody who started a business back in 2008. If you remember when the stock market was probably real estate market crashed, and there were people that I knew that started businesses. Sully starting a business during the pandemic. So right. I wish you a lot of luck, and I think that it's something that is, on point with social media. We know golf is just giant here in Michigan. Crazy. So we know that the Facebook group that you started is just huge. I know that it dominates my news feed. Whenever I go to look on Facebook, it's somebody's always commenting on some course that they're at, or is this a hole in one? Yeah. So I give you a lot of credit.
No, thank you, Dave. And I think you're right there too. With a lot of people are, risk is not easy for a lot of people. That taking that risk can be tough. Change can be tough. And I think that, I think that it is actually a good time to start a business just with, a lot of we don't have to go there from an economic standpoint with all the stuff that's available to businesses right now. I do think it actually is a great time to do it. And I appreciate those words about just the digital media and the social media side of it too, because if anything, and Dan, you're huge on social media. If anything, Dan and Dave, I think you guys would agree with me that what's been a I never want to use the word blessing, especially because it's just so terrible with COVID. But from a business standpoint, what has been fortunate for us is that I do think a lot of these businesses right now, a lot of these small businesses realize now more than ever with COVID, with social distance, with people not gathering, the importance of being on the phone and the computer, having your online presence is more important than it's ever been. And I'm not going to go into some sales pitch here, but
no, it is.
It's so important for these businesses know that they have to be online. They have to be on people's phones, on the computers. And a lot of the time, what it is from our, and we have several local clients and a ton of places we work with, but a lot of these businesses either A, don't really know how to do it, or B, they just don't have the time or certainly the budget to hire a salaried benefit position to do it. So that's where we come in.
No, and it is. And like we talked about all the possibilities, that you guys are going to be able to do. And I look forward to a lot of things, a lot of great things with you in the future. I know I'll be able to be involved in some down the road as well. I want to do this. By the way, Mark Cuban, who I briefly met when Hillary Clinton came to speak here about 4 years ago, he also said this is the best time to start a business right now. Yep. And that's a guy I would listen to.
Well, and real quick, with Metro
Sure.
Detroit golfers, as David pointed, I know you flashed the graphic there too. That's what's crazy to me when I started that 3 months ago, almost to the day. It's crazy to me that you guys are both golfers, but Michigan is a golf state. It just is.
Huge.
And I really just thought that the appetite for golf is huge, and the coverage just does not match it. I do think it's a very big, very passionate, very underserved audience in our state, and I think this MDG has been a great medium for people to connect and really just talk about golf and really promote and talk about Michigan as a golf state as a whole in our area.
And it's Mike, especially now, and you and I have talked about this, and I think people know this is kind of the mission that you put together with that. We're like a time that no one expected. We never expected a pandemic. It happened 100 years ago, but we were kind of plodding along in social media and fast lives. This was it's a great way for positivity, which we can never get enough of.
Thank you.
So yeah, kudos for that. And I've told you how proud I am of that site. And I've
thanks for being a part of it, both of you guys.
Of course.
I will say also that golfing is one of the easiest social distancing things to do during the pandemic. I mean,
it is.
I mean, I know when I play, you never know where that ball might end up. We all can't be like Sully hitting it, 250 down the middle every time.
Two iron, 240 yards.
We can't always be like that.
It was typical me today. I was at Indianwood. I shot a 38 on the front, and then I just collapsed. Not collapsed. I just put together a bad back nine. But I think that's so true with golf as well, where my God, all the discussion right now about college football and football and sports that will or will not be played, that will or will not be canceled. I think that golf is one that throughout, however long COVID goes, golf is a sport where you can socially distance. It's COVID proof almost, where the tour is still going to play. Courses for the most part are still going to be open. I know that was a huge issue at the start of this whole thing, but you get my point.
Right. I mean, think about this. You've got the last week of the season, then you're going into the playoffs, and during the FedEx playoffs, you're going to have a U.S. Open and a Masters in the playoffs. It's going to be really crazy.
Oh yeah, it'll be crazy. I agree.
Very nice comments, by the way, from Glenn and Danny. We appreciate people tuning in. We got a lot of people watching. We got a lot to get to. Like, we're going to talk about the football stuff in a second, but I wanted to kind of circle back to. We talked about the high school football, stardom. From what I heard, you were literally the greatest quarterback in the history of Michigan. So you gave that up. You went into broadcasting, but kind of go back for me to when you first got to 97.1. I remember when I first met you. I believe, were you entering for Doug and Gator, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so go back to that and just kind of briefly take us through to where we are now.
I've gotten that question a lot. So I went into broadcasting, went into radio, spent 1 year at St. Joe's, spent 2 years at Oakland. So I graduated college when I was 20. I had my bachelor's degree when I was 20. And when I was 19, I started interning at 97.1 and went well. Yeah, interned for Doug and Scott. Long story short, they kind of extended my internship. 97.1 promised me a job after I graduated college. And then as soon as I graduated, hired me in full-time as an assistant producer. That was right before – it's like a week before my 21st birthday. And I was in that full-time assistant producer role for almost a year, not even quite a year. And then I got promoted to the executive producer of Lenny and Foster.
Right.
And that was when I was 21 and I'm 27 now. So from 21 to present, I had done, obviously Lenny and Foster and then obviously just Mike. But that's kind of how it was, guys. Just got my foot in the door, worked my way up. And I get that question all the time from people that just want advice, broadcasting, whatever. And I really can't emphasize, of course, everyone says the cliche, you got to work hard, and of course you do, but I really think, network. Dan, you're good at that. You value how important it is to network with people and really have that, have those connections. And I think networking is just absolutely huge.
Yeah, and there's a reason you also got promoted. There's a reason that you were able to be on one of the biggest shows in the country because you're very talented, and that's something that goes without saying. I think people know that, but some think that it's the truth. And I wanted to ask you this. I know it's a tough question. We only ask the tough questions on the task force. But what do you think meant the most to you about being the executive producer of first Valenti and Foster, then the Valenti show, and then for a couple of weeks, Valenti and Rico? But let's be honest here and just talk about the numbers. It is one of the best shows rated wise, PPM wise, that's the rating system, the people meter in the country. And I know Detroit's not as big as New York or LA, but per capita, it is one of the best and most listened to shows in the country. What meant the most to you to be involved with that show?
What meant the most to me was probably all the people I got to meet, right? And certainly the people that I worked the closest with, Mike, Terry, David, Roberto, certainly, guys like you and Jeff and Jimmy and Tom and everyone like that. The people I would say is the easy answer, but also, I think really, Dan, what hit me, and I kind of I did get emotional a few weeks ago. Just I pulled up my Twitter and I had so many DM requests, and I pulled up my Instagram and I had so many DM requests, and I was just scrolling through and the words from the people, the listeners, and I think that's what really hit home and meant most to me was just, look, I mean, we're not changing the world here. We did a sports talk radio show and that's awesome, right? But really what meant a lot to me was hearing those nice words from people, hearing some people say, hey, I loved listening to you. I'd have a tough day and you guys would help me turn it around. And just the well wishes, the good lucks, the nice words from people. That's what meant most to me because, I really value that. And I tried, and to this day, I try to respond to every single DM I get and every single message I get because it does mean that much to me. If people are taking time out of their day to follow me, to message me, that really just goes a long way. And I can't thank the listeners enough, whether you love me or you hated me, but the fact that you embraced me as a kid, starting on air when I was 21 to do that for 6 years and to kind
child prodigy
to grow up, to kind of grow up and to kind of do that publicly and learn a lot, from when I was 21 and compared to when I obviously now, the listeners were just incredible, I thought. And that's really what I said. I got emotional, just what the listeners said. That just was almost just overwhelming. It went a long way.
Sully, you said something very important there. You said, whether you loved me or you hated me, you still talked about me. That's the Howard Stern model.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
If 70% of the people hated you, they're still talking about you.
Yeah.
So
and that leads us.
I will tell you this. Speaking of a love hate, someone who always loves me or hates me, it's one of the two. Dan, I know Tori here who just popped out here on the
Wait,
board.
Queen Victoria, get her in there. Queen Victoria, I bow to you.
Dave, I don't know. Have you met Tori before, Dave?
I think I met her. I think I met her at the Rocket Mortgage last year.
Oh yeah, at the Rocket Mortgage. That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
And by the way, Mike, before we say anything, Queen Victoria was obviously instrumental, but she put together that incredible goodbye party for you that we did in Red Run a couple weeks ago. Kudos to her. She was on top of everything.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I can't believe I was surprised. That was crazy. I love that.
Did she just come in for playing a couple sets of tennis?
I was out on a run, so I'm all sweaty.
Yeah, sweaty's good. But there's always a great woman behind a great man. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I got her golf clubs for her birthday the first week of June. She's been trying to get into golf more. I've got her some MDG swag that she's been wearing. So we gotta get you into golf more.
Where's the swag for the task force?
Yeah, we're still waiting on that swag. Somebody was coming.
I'll look you guys up. No, yeah, you can. The merch is available if you guys want to go buy it right now.
Do we have to go through Bogey? Come on.
Yeah, I want direct entrance.
Yeah, no.
By the way,
we'll take care of you guys.
I'm going to give you a chance to say this later too. Because a lot of people have asked me, where do they get the MDG merchandise from? The Metro Detroit Golfers.
So go to MetroDetroitGolfers.com. You can click shop. You'll see it right away. It's been unbelievable. We've had, I'm not going to dive into the numbers, but the past 3 days, the number of orders and the number of things people have got and the average size per order, it's remarkable. And one thing that we've been able to do is really handpick some charities that we're going to be donating to throughout the year. Certainly American Cancer Society. We're going to be making a very sizable donation here next week on behalf of Jamie, of course, rest in peace with the colon cancer research of that. But, we got Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation. We have Yellow Ribbon Fund. We have the Eagles for Children. There's a bunch of.
I nominated the National Alliance of Alberta. Hopefully one day we can do that too.
The one thing I need to do, and Tori's huge on animals too. I really got to find an animal charity because that's something that's passion of mine too. So I'm really trying to look. look into a bunch of different animal charities right now and figure out a good one to partner with, you know, for MDG.
And a dog.
And our good friend,
yeah,
our good friend Chuck Keller said, get Queen Victoria some MDG swag. You'll sell more. Put her on the website.
Yeah, we were joking about it, sitting modeling it, right?
I've got 3 pieces so far. A couple quarters.
There it is.
Some tank top.
Yeah.
All right, couple questions
That's
here
funny.
that I want to get into some current stuff here. First, Jason Brown
Please.
wants to know, have you hired Eric Ebron to handle your social? Is he hired you to handle the social media yet?
Yeah, he might drop the ball on that one. You know, I really don't want to. He might not be too good for that, but
Yeah,
screw
probably
that
not.
guy, man.
Now,
All he does is just chirp, and he's just
it's so bad.
He's got to just get off of Twitter and you know,
He's got to
you're
grow
that
up.
worried. I won't even tag him and stuff, and he'll tweet me. He's that worried about what I'm saying, you know. So screw that guy.
All right, and then I knew we were going to get this, and I'll let you answer this. You're not working there anymore. Glenn wants to know, why does Lenny hate Dan Leach so much? Never understood that.
I want to know that too.
Go ahead.
I
Mike.
know. I don't know.
I want to know too. I want to know that too.
There's certainly, you know, I've seen that question a ton too. I mean, Dan, you guys used to do shows and stuff, and then it just, you know.
Well, let me say this. I talked with Mike after Jamie passed away, because you know the kind of person I am. Mike Dave knows this too. Queen Victoria knows this. That you only live once. I've been through a lot. Mike has always told me how much he respects what I've gone through with sobriety and everything. We talked. It was kind of a not that things have been bad or anything lately. Last several times I've seen him, it's been fine. But I think we're just different people. But we had a very nice, quick text conversation, and he thanked me for what I had to say. And it was all about, listen, you know, I respect what you do. I know we've had our issues in the past, but I think that it's more important for us to live our lives and try to be, you know, accepting of whatever than not after what happened. So I think we're fine, but I get that question all the time too, Mike.
No doubt, Dan. And if I could, you know, just what a great guy Jamie was, and I, you know, Christy is just so super nice too, and Josh and Catherine, and get all their, you know, his 3 kids. You know, it really just.
Great picture.
Yeah, just enjoyed working with him so much over the years, and to, you know, just what happened is so. It sucks, you know, and Jamie's always been super cool to me and was super supportive. He sent me an extremely nice message just a couple weeks ago. How crazy is that, you know? And and when he heard that I was that I was leaving, so that's what sucks. Like, and you really realize those little things too. Like, what's crazy too is the last time I saw him, obviously because of COVID hit, was Evan's wedding, and Jamie and Christy actually. Came to my house and picked Tori and I up, and the 4 of us drove down to the wedding. We had a great time and had an awesome night. And never did I think that, well, you know, a week later COVID hit, right? So everyone was working from home and whatnot. But my point is, never did I think that night and how great that was, and the text he sent me the very next day about how awesome it was getting to know her, and never did I think that would be the last time that I would see him. Because then obviously, like I said, COVID hit. He was working from home, and then certainly the unfortunate turn that he went through. It's stuff like that you just won't forget, and it sucks, man. It sucks. But prayers are with Christy and his entire family. And
the funeral was beautiful.
What a life well lived, you know.
Yeah, and I think that Dave and me have talked about this too. You know, the best. It doesn't make any sense. We know that he's 40. He's 5 years older than me.
No,
and one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. You know, me and Sully, you and I, like, we have always gravitated towards people like that, especially in our business, which can be cutthroat.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to make sense of it, at least for me, and I know you and I have talked about this, Sully, and Dave and I as well, is to do the best we can to live our lives that way, like our kindness, our passion, what you're doing with your businesses, all that stuff, what Dave does with his life and how hard he works. And that honors Jamie. And then by that, a little, you know, part of his legacy is living on through all of us. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
No doubt. Great guy. And you're right. Way too young. But just always a super, super funny, super smart, super positive guy. And you know, working with him every day, especially when he used to be in Jamie and Wojo, and I'd see him every single day, you know, bring his kids into work all the time. He was just a great guy, and I think that's well said. Where life is too short, and life's too short for petty BS too. You know, so you really gotta just put stuff aside and realize that, it really is just too short.
If I can say too, I think
Sure.
I watched a little bit online, the live stream of the funeral, and I think Wojo, whether it be his article that he had written or his
Eulogy.
his eulogy that he spoke about Jamie, was awesome. I thought he did a wonderful job, and I had only met Jamie the one time through being at Evan's wedding, and he was just, in that one time I met him, I really got a feel for how awesome of a guy he was, and just truly loved by everybody.
Yeah,
and I think it's very well said, Vicky, and I think it's one of those things where it's so impossible to do something like that for your best friend, like Wojo did for Jamie, but he encapsulated every part of that guy's soul. And I think that it was, if people haven't seen that funeral, I put it on my Twitter. It's online. Please watch the memorial. And Christy was incredible as well.
Yes,
wife.
Christy was amazing. As well.
Incredible. By the way, I got a dog charity for you. My sister got their dog from Detroit Dog Rescue. There you go.
I've heard Detroit Dog Rescue is great.
I know Christina
I've met them before, but if anyone has any contacts like that, just send them my way. We need to partner. I need to find a local animal charity to partner with. So that's a big priority right now. The next couple of weeks to get that done. Amongst a million
Christina's a great person.
Christina's fantastic.
And Dan and I have a mutual friend that is very close with her, so we can definitely get you hooked up with her.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. That sounds great.
We're gonna so I want to get your thoughts, and we'll get Victoria's thoughts too if she wants to weigh in on college football and whether they should play or not. But quick moment here I want to take for our great friends at amwager.com. They just re-upped the instant $10 free no deposit bonus. All you got to do, go to amwager.com, enter the promo code TASKFORCE in there. Horse racing's having a renaissance. Saratoga's going. Del Mar, we got the Derby and the Preakness coming up, even though it's a reverse Triple Crown. Please check out our friends at amwager.com. Go to the website, put the promo code TASKFORCE in. No deposit needed, free $10. And then if you want, and you want to deposit anything up to $100, they give you a free match bonus. 50 gets you a free 50, 80 gets you a free 80, 30 gets you a free 30, whatever you want to do over 450 tracks around the country. And they also have daily rewards bonuses on top of the match bonus. So get involved today if you're a horse racing aficionado. Sully, do you ever play the ponies? I know Valenti, huge horse guy. Did he ever convince you?
I've played. I absolutely have. I never seem to win. I always somehow get killed at horse betting, but it's fun. It's cool being at the track too and seeing the horses up close. Beautiful animals, man. Just so powerful and so muscular. They're just, it's remarkable seeing those race horses up close and just how every inch of their body is just pure muscle. It's remarkable.
It's insane. So I wanted to talk to you, and I mentioned Nikki Wade. She's a big football fan. What are your thoughts on college football? Because I've said this from the early in the pandemic, and I hope that was wrong. And me, I'm a very positive guy. So does Dave. I'm not trying to be the Grinch here. I never thought it was going to happen, and now the Big Ten and the Pac-12, they're out. ACC, SEC say they want to play no matter what. Nebraska's possibly going to play and be threatened to leave the conference if they play, like Kevin Warren, the Big Ten commissioner. Where are you at with college football? Do you believe it should be played? Should they delay it? Where are you at with football in the fall? I know people want to see it.
Yeah, I do think it should be played, and I think that it's also a different question. Do I think that it will be played? Probably not. I just think there's too much confusion, too much uncertainty right now. Look, we're talking about a not only a major business, but something that people thoroughly enjoy, and I think that there's a way to do it safely. I think there's a lot of people paid a lot of big money to make these decisions and to figure it out and to figure out exactly how it can be played safely. Other leagues have. We've seen the PGA Tour. I know it's not the same sport, but we've seen the PGA Tour do it. We've seen the NBA do it. MLB clearly working through, some things, but I would love to see them find a way to play it. I really agree with what Jim Harbaugh said. I think that he was. You see that? See that text? I really agree with what Harbaugh.
Oh, they want the marriage.
They want the marriage. He has the Harbaugh has the data. He has the numbers, and I think that there is a way to do it safely based on what these testing numbers have been too. And of course, I would absolutely love to see college football be played. I think they do need to play, and a lot of it has turned political. Dan, we know that, but I think it's. I'm biased because I love football, but Dave, Dan, would I love to see it? Of course. Do I think it'll happen? If I had to bet, I would probably say it won't. Unfortunately, what do you guys think,
Vicky? Well, I need to hear from Vicky first, and I want to hear from Dave.
Yeah,
it's interesting because I have the healthcare background.
She's a Sparty, by the way.
I went to Michigan State, graduated in 2018.
I still love it.
State. So I see a little bit of both. I see how on campus it was, you're tight into those classrooms. And so I think for college, it's so tough to, keep these football players and these basketball players and all these athletes in their own bubble. And to still go there and get an education. It's almost, it's different when you're looking at NFL and the pro teams where these are still students and they still, classrooms and being on campus, and you're talking about parties and things like that they're going to happen. I mean, it's
there's no bubble in college.
There's no bubble in college, and they're not being paid. And I just think it's so tough. But at the same point, I think Michael had tweeted the other, or retweeted one of the U of M players, football players. I can't recall who it was.
It was Hutchinson, right?
Yes. And, he wants to play. And so then you get into these players, some of them, they are dying to play. They want to play. And so then it gets into this fine line of what's acceptable and what's for their safety and what's also for their future and what they want to do. They go there to play. And so it's tough.
I think that especially with college kids too, you're not going to get them to social. These college kids are still going to go to parties. They're still. We've seen what happened at MSU with Harper's and whatnot. These college students are still just going to go do it. So that is, I understand the concern and the logistics of trying to put a bubble in college football. I do think I understand how that's tough. I do.
Dave?
I think it's very simple. If you're not going to have students that are going to be going to campus, then how can you have student athletes playing?
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If it's not safe enough for students,
sure.
And Michigan State University sent out the letter like about maybe 3 weeks ago that said, stay home. We're going to go online for the fall semester.
Yeah.
How can you have football players playing? As much as you want to see it, and as much as it's going to hurt not only the college but the city of East Lansing and the surrounding cities economically by not having the games, you can't safely have student athletes be expected to go and play football if you can't have students in class to learn. So,
and even though they're not being paid, some of them kind of are. They're student athletes. I know we've kind of lost Dave and Mike and Vicky the student part of student athlete.
She hates when she doesn't like Vicky.
Oh, stop.
Queen. No, I call her Queen Victoria. So we've lost that student part of student athlete, but it's still there. And that's what they're. I know that a lot of them aren't studying that hard, and they don't care. That's fine. It's up to them. But they're still student athletes.
You said it's conference by conference. It's kind of been different. If I had asked you guys right now, what % chance do you think that college football will play this fall, what % chance do you think that there will be college football teams, the Power 5 teams, playing this fall?
Well, I'm going to give you two answers, then I'll let Dave answer. I've said, and I'm going to stick with this from back in the beginning, that there will not be college football. But that being said, the SEC thinks they're the NFL. They'll do whatever they want. I think that they will start. The chances of it finishing are very, very, very little. Dave?
I agree with Dan. I think that you're going to have is it the Big 12 and the ACC?
Yeah, SEC and ACC wants to play.
The SEC, they're going to start. You've already got the Big 10 that said they're done. You got the MAC that said they're done. You got the Pac-10 that said they're done. So they'll start and they'll try. Whether or not they will succeed, I don't know. Whether or not they'll have to go through some learning curves like baseball is going through, I'm not sure. But I will say this. Every day moving forward, I'm getting more and more confident that we will see the National Football League.
Yeah, well, there's two things. One,
I would love to see the NFL play, and I think that's one thing where, the NFL is going to do all they possibly can to play. I think that's. I think they're going to play. I think the NFL is going to play, and I think that they're learning from Major League Baseball's problems. I think that the MLB is like the testing kit.
I got to comment on that, but I wanted Ryan just weighed in, and so it looks like you got to be a permanent guest because they love seeing you and they say we need you often. So you and Queen Victoria are now our permanent guests.
Yeah.
But this is the way, and it's funny. I did a show with a friend of mine, the sideline reporter for the Bucks earlier, and I was the Big Ten guy. He had an SEC guy and a Pac-12 guy, and I was kind of on an island. Not that they didn't understand where I was coming from, but it's as you mentioned, it's gotten political. The Big Ten guys in the blue states, and it's, the southern states need to play, the red states. But throw that all away. Let me give you the Major League Baseball example. All right, so Major League Baseball, when they first were about to break camp in the home stadiums, like Tigers training at Comerica, Pittsburgh, and PNC, whatever. When they first were about to break camp, I think there was like 2 positive tests. Then there were none. Once they started traveling, you had entire teams coming down with COVID. Imagine college football with 70-plus players, 50, 60 staff and coaches, trainers, et cetera, et cetera. If you think there's no test, like Harbaugh, his little statement that had all the weight room stuff and we're not testing positive, you think it's low now? Wait till they start traveling. Wait till they start going to other states, whether it's Big Ten, country, or out west or whatever it is. That's what concerns me. And once again, they're students. They're not being paid. Well, some of them are, but they're not getting paid. They're not the NFL. That's why I think the NFL is going to go forward unless half their teams start coming up with COVID and Brady's out and Stafford's out and this guy's out. What do you do if you have 5 Washington Redskins test positive for COVID the night before?
The Washington Redskins.
Yeah, Washington football team. Yeah.
Sorry, Washington football team. Hey, PC. What if you have 5 Tampa Bay Bucks the night before their game against
Which will happen.
Which will. If the 5 guys test positive, the game's postponed.
False positives, Dan. False positives.
That will happen though, and you hate to say it, but there will be a Pat Mahomes testing positive before the AFC Championship game, and then you get into the whole other discussion: is this an asterisk on the entire season? Does this championship mean the same as every other year? There's so many just discussion points and moving parts.
Exactly true.
Sully, are you calling Chiefs in the AFC Championship game? Are you calling Chiefs the AFC Championship game already, Sully? Come on,
Dave. Are you?
Please.
Chiefs against the field right now.
Hey, Sully, are you aware?
It's hard to repeat.
Sully, are you aware what happens when Dave brings up the Broncos? He disappears. So, and he knows that. Dave disappears whenever he brings the Broncos up. So no more of that.
What a hater you are, Dan.
Sully, you're normally on the other side of this, but this time we're doing a DTM one-on-one starring Mike Sullivan. We're going to get right to that, but I want to bring up another great friend of ours, our good friends, Doug and Scott and Michigan's Finest. They just opened up in Wayne on Wayne Road in Van Born on Wayne, Michigan. Their website's right there as well. And people say, well, Leach, why did you partner with a cannabis company? Well, I'll tell you why. Because not Doug and Scott, the Gator Anderson. It's a different Doug and Scott. So we can get that out of the way. But Doug and Scott are good friends of mine, and their mission statement is to help people get off of opiates and alcohol. Darren McCarty was a guest on the show a month or so ago. He talks and swears by CBD and marijuana to help him get away from the alcohol issues he had. I have many friends that were opiate users, addicted to opiates. They were able to use CBD, marijuana to get off of opiates. I'm not going to smoke. I'm 9+ years sober. I'm not smoking pot. But if it helps you get off that stuff, there's no better place or people I can be associated with. So I appreciate Michigan's Finest being a big sponsor of our show. Use promo code DTM420 for 10% off your purchase online or in store. Check out the website. It's mi-finest.com. And once again, they are on Van Born Road in Wayne, Michigan. We appreciate them supporting the show. All right. Sully, is Sully screen black? We lost Sully there for a minute, Dave. Hold on, we'll get him back here. Dave, I've tried every show to get you to smoke pot. Are you going to finally? Is the time come?
Probably not. I sent you a private message too, by the way.
Sully's back. Those weren't my earbuds, Dave. All right, Sully, we good?
Oh, they weren't. It wasn't. Okay.
Messing up for a minute. Yeah.
All right, no problem.
You're good.
All right, so Sully, are you ready? Dave has spent hours putting together 5 questions. I have no idea what they are for a Dan Leach one-on-one. Starring Mike Sullivan. Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Here comes Dave Rieger. We've got it all going on. Dave, question 1.
All right, Mike. I formatted this especially for you, all golf questions tonight for you, Sully. So I'm going to take you back to 1983. I don't know what year you were born, but I'm pretty sure it was not 1983.
10 years before I was born. Yes.
And
in
1980, October of 1983, President Ronald Reagan is playing at Augusta with a Republican donor and members of his cabinet. Shortly after Reagan made a mess of the par 3 12th hole, which I know you as part of Amen Corner, two members of his entourage took off to do some shopping at the pro shop. While there, 45-year-old Charles Harris, a recently fired millwright, burst into the shop wielding a revolver and demanding an audience with the president. Harris held several people hostage at the pro shop and at gunpoint. Once told of the situation, Reagan tried to talk to Harris on the phone, but the connection was spotty. Eventually, after the president was whisked away from the course, the hostages either escaped or were released, and Harris surrendered to police officers 2 hours after the incident began. My question to you, Sully, if you were in the position that Reagan was in, would you have left Augusta because of some gunman at the pro shop?
There were hostages!
Maybe 5 holes away. Come on.
I would do anything I possibly can to get on that course and play. So, no, I would not leave. I would deal with it and then trust my security and keep playing. No.
Thank you. Yes.
That is a crazy story. One of the, sorry, Dan, I got to say this. One of the best presidents ever, in my best president ever.
I love Reagan. I was a Reagan Democrat.
I know you and I, Dan, disagree politically, although we have so many great, political debates. But
Sully would love to talk to the people that I talk to every day. Oh, Sully would
love it.
Oh, he would love it.
As far as I'm concerned, I would say, how can you leave even though it's hostages? I probably would have stayed. I probably would have stayed at Augusta. All right, Dave, question 2.
All right, this question combines golf and social media, two of Sully's favorite things. So I don't know if you were checking out the gram, as they call it, the Instagram. But Jason Derulo and Will Smith were playing golf recently, and apparently there was an accident, and Derulo knocked out some of Will Smith's teeth while he was in the backswing with his driver, and he posted a picture on Instagram. Well, as you can imagine, Instagram went nuts.
Yeah.
But apparently it was a hoax. Apparently that Jason Derulo did this joke a couple months earlier where he pretended to lose teeth by eating corn in a cob that was hooked up to a power drill. So my question to you, Sully, is what do you think of this, jokes on the Instagram that are portraying false or fake news, if you will, to the listeners? How do you feel about that?
Never a fan of fake news. There's a lot of that right now in this country, but I think that there's a lot of stuff like that happens on social media where it's just a total stunt to get likes, to get eyeballs, to get views, and I almost am to the point where I don't put anything past me in terms of what you see on social media, whether some of it's authentic or not. I think there's a lot of stuff that gets thrown on social media just to get clicks, no matter how crazy it is.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great point. I was watching an interview with Chris Evans, Captain America, who created this foundation that is all bipartisan. It's all about making sure you understand the real side of a story. That it's not about politics. It's about, asking how the government works or asking about COVID, whatever it is. We need more sites like that. So I'm all for that.
Yeah.
All right, question 3.
So question 3 takes us back to 2003, I think. And Beverly Redinger. Now, who, may you ask, is Beverly Redinger?
Yeah.
Well, she was part of a foursome that was playing at a golf course and came up to a par 3. And who came out of the bushes followed by cameras with a proposition for her, but one Tiger Woods.
Ooh.
At that
Dave's
time,
obsessed with him, Sully.
At that time, Tiger Woods was representing Buick. And he had a challenge for Beverly and her friends. Anybody who could get closer to the pin would win his Buick. So the 3 girls that went before Beverly all hit the ball into the woods. They were so nervous. Beverly took out a 5 wood and then changed her mind and went with a 3 wood. And then because it was raining a little bit, so she figured, and she put the ball very close and actually beat Tiger. And he gave her the keys to the Buick that he had with him there. And this was all documented for a Nike commercial. and a Buick commercial that Tiger was doing.
Great marketing.
My question to you, Sully, being the great golfer that you are.
Yeah.
You're playing at Knollwood or Links and Novi or Tanglewood or and you go up to him at par 3, and Tiger Woods comes out and says, Sully, this is for a brand new Buick or Corvette or whatever. How nervous are you, and are you getting closer to the pin than Tiger Woods to win that car?
I can't. I'd like to say I could get closer than Tiger, but I doubt that I could unless it was just a once-in-a-lifetime shot. I would be nervous for sure. Hands would be shaking, but I've never gotten a hole-in-one. I don't know if, Dave, I think you have, right? Have you before?
I've come close. I've not.
I've never gotten one either.
Dan, I've been really close.
I've been close.
My closest was actually Indianwood a couple months ago. I was like literally 2 inches away on number 3, but that's a bucket list too, to finally get a hole-in-one, man. Got to make that happen.
Oh, me too. I love it.
I would say this. I saw he's a much better golfer than me, Dave. You are too, but for some reason I feel like I get closer to Tiger. It would happen because it would just be some squash thing. All right, question 4.
Question 4 takes us to Palermo, Pennsylvania, and a golf mystery. It takes us to Click Lewis, a new and used car dealership on East Main Street, and a manager by the name of Ryan. And he says that golf balls have started to appear at the car lot and surrounding streets for 18 to 24 months now, and it hasn't stopped. There's been no damage. It's not been an issue. There's not a problem with vandalism. It just appears that the balls come overnight. When the employees arrive in the morning, there's sometimes 31 balls scattered around the dealership, 59 balls scattered. The cameras aren't picking this up. Some mornings there are only 3 or 4 golf balls to be found. One day he said he found 65 golf balls around this car dealership, and it's becoming a joke. The question is, Sully, what do you think, number one, who's doing this? Why are they doing it? And do you have any clues as to what's going on in Pennsylvania with this car dealership and these golf balls?
No clue at all. I wish I could answer that better. That is a bizarre story hearing you explain that. No clue at all. But what I actually think of when I hear that is, I drive on 696 often, and you know how Rackham's right off 696 is pretty close to it? I see dozens every single day of golf balls on the shoulder of 696 because people, shank one off the first tee and it bounces in the street and bounces down into 696. And it's kind of like that. It reminds me of that just collection of golf balls I see on the side of the road every day.
Well, for me, it's obviously the golf ball ghost, and he's doing it for people that don't have enough money to buy golf balls. So he's kind of helping the masses right now during tough economic times. All right, let's hit out of the park as we always do with question number 5.
Question number 5 brings in one of my pet peeves about golf, and that is I find that golf has some dumb rules.
Yeah. And
this falls under the new rules of golf. So competing in the first round of the Senior LPGA Championship at the Pete Dye course in French Lick, Indiana, shout out to Larry Bird,
nice.
Leanne Walker posted a respectable round of 85. The only problem was Walker was having her caddy help her with alignment on nearly every putt she hit.
Yeah.
So according to Beth Ann Nichols of Golf Week, another caddy in their group informed Walker that having her caddy line her up was a violation of the new rules of golf.
Right.
But that wasn't until the midway through the first round of the 9 of their second round that the damage was done. So as a result, Walker added a two-shot penalty for every time she violated the rule. In the first round, that meant 42 additional strokes, ballooning her score to 127.
Wow.
Though it is worth noting that she finished
Dan Leach score.
birdie on 18.
Hey, my scores are better than Jeff Rager. That's all that matters.
So my question, Sully, to you is this rule, when a player begins taking a stance for the stroke and until the stroke is made, the player's caddy must not deliberately stand in the location on or close to an extension of the line of play behind the golf ball for any reason? Is this one of those dumb rules of golf?
Yeah, and that's one of the ones that was just recently changed. I think that was the same time when they changed the whole, rule about, which was fine, leaving the pin in. I don't understand the caddy alignment one at all. That seems archaic. It seems just a little too.
It took her score
OCD.
from 80.
I don't know.
It took her score from 85 to 127.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I liked at first when I heard about the pin rule. I was like, this is going to be really weird. And now it totally seems normal. But some of these rules, we can't mess with the game too much. So it's crazy. Dave, great job. Sully, great job. A+ for you.
Guys.
All right, couple more minutes here. And Sully, I love you. I can't wait for the future. There's so many good things that are going to be happening for you, and I can't wait to be part of any of them. But I wanted to give you a chance, and then I got a quick little rapid fire for you. Let people know again about MDG, Metro Detroit Golfers. I'll throw the site up in a second. And let them know about your social media company as well,
so
which I know Dave and I are going to listen to help with the task force.
Thank you so much. I love that. No, actually, Kyle and I are going to be posting a really big video tomorrow. I'm just letting everyone know exactly what's going on, kind of explaining it. But thank you for that. Basically, the marketing company, we're downtown Royal Oak, helping a bunch of small businesses with their online presence. That's brand25media.com. As I mentioned, average person spends 25% of their day on their phone. So we help you brand that. And we do a bunch of stuff, whether it's social media management, digital marketing, podcast production, SEO. We do a bunch of stuff. It's not a one size fit all. And that's just been awesome working with local businesses. So Brand 25 has been sweet. Like I said, I've had to hire some people. Going to have to actually hire some more here soon. And there you go.
Yeah, by the way, really quick, Mike, what is that like? You go from producing a great radio show, that's a big job, and you got to put topics together and put the sound together and all that stuff. Now you're hiring people. That's pretty cool.
It's wild. I know. No, it's absolutely. Thank you for the light. It's awesome. Wow.
Sure.
It's wild. It's wild. And I've gotten people DMing me their resumes, emailing me their resumes. But no, there's the website right there. And Brand 25 has been sweet. So many. I had a huge. I won't say it, but I had a huge local company. Their CEO reached out the other night, want us to work on some. Could potentially be a huge project, a huge partnership. But we've really been doing well, excited just to build that more. And then obviously Metro Detroit Golfers, the Facebook group, metrodetroitgolfers.com as well. A ton of stuff with that, guys, a ton of stuff. We're going to be launching a podcast. We have a huge first guest that's lined up. I'm not saying it's Tiger Woods, but I'm also not saying
it better not be.
I'm not, but the crazy thing is it's not far off from Tiger Woods. And I mean, I'm not trying to give you a tease. It's someone who's,
I know who it is. I know who it is.
And we're so excited with MDG to really just provide value.
It better not be Bryson DeChambeau or Brooks Koepka. That's all I can say.
No comment on who it is. But
please,
you're
please.
in terms of a golf name.
It's up there.
It's huge. So we're pumped up about that, and obviously just continue to build MDG. We got merchandise. We have a bunch of video series we're doing. We are already the largest golf community in Michigan, so got to keep that going. And thank you guys for that. I appreciate you asking about it.
All right, before we go, I got a couple rapid fire here. We're going to call this Swinging with Sully. And by the way, our good friend Paul Gerard, I previewed our show tonight. I said, you hit a two. I don't know why I changed his name, but you hit a. I said you hit a 2-iron into the show. He's like, Sully doesn't carry a 2-iron. I'm like, I know he doesn't carry a 2-iron, but if anyone would, I think it'd be you.
I played with the guy who hits a 2-iron today. Yeah,
I know a lot of people do.
Old school.
Yeah.
So Sully, let's start with this. You're now this is not as a journalist or a broadcaster. This is as a fan. Your all-time favorite athlete.
LeBron. LeBron would be up there. Tiger Woods I've loved. It would have to be LeBron. It really would.
Yeah. You're a LeBron guy. King James.
I've had too many debates over the years. It's LeBron.
The most special sporting moment in your life.
Oh, man.
It could be a personal one, too, if you don't want it to be a professional or college.
I'm waiting for the day to really be able to see the Lions in the Super Bowl with my dad. Oh, man, that will be. But right now, I would say special sporting moment. Honestly, it would have to. I mean, certainly growing up watching the Red Wings and all of it.
Hey, we got I was thinking your task force appearance.
Certainly watching the Tigers. With their couple of World Series runs, the Red Wings memories were huge, and just I would have to say something with those when those teams are really balling.
All right, you, as we know, pretty popular, pretty special guy. You've met a lot of celebrities, but I want to ask you if you could meet anyone you've never met before. Who would it be?
That's the thing. I've met LeBron. So I would have to say someone else. I would say if I can meet any athlete.
Yep, any athlete. And I'm saying anybody in general. It could be an athlete, could be an actress, could be a songstress.
I would say I would love to meet Leonardo DiCaprio. I love Leo. Wolf of Wall Street's my favorite movie. It'd be sweet to meet him. Just have a drink with him. That'd be insane. Athlete wise, I would probably say Tiger Woods would certainly be up there.
Sure.
I love Brooks too, but Tiger Woods, I would probably have to say Tiger Woods. I mean, Tom Brady would be cool, but I would still probably go with Tiger Woods.
I followed Tiger Woods at the U.S. Open in '97. It's '96 in Oakland Hills, but I never met him. I don't think I've never been in a scrum with him either. So he'd be a great one to meet. All right, 2 more for you. Let's go non-living. Any historical? Well, not necessarily historical, but anybody that's not alive right now. You're able to go and meet them somewhere. You talk to them, do whatever you want, play around at golf with Arnold Palmer, whatever you want. Who would that person be?
Ooh. Wow.
I told you, these tough questions to ask for.
Someone who's no longer living, talking about a total legend.
Dave always talks about Steve Jobs. I talk about Kennedy and Lincoln and Socrates.
I'd love to meet Reagan, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Sure. Steve Jobs, that is a great one. I would say, off the top of my head, Dan, that's put me on the spot there.
That's what we do here with the task force.
I mean, sure, I agree. Arnold Palmer would be sweet.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing somebody here.
Genghis Khan. Are we talking Christopher Columbus?
Yeah.
Are we going back to John Wayne, someone like that?
Probably not John Wayne. No, it sounds like right up your alley, though.
No, I'm not a John Wayne guy.
Wayne.
He was a big Republican. He was a big Reagan guy.
Yeah, that's funny. No, probably the ones I mentioned, Dan. I can't really.
No, I like those. Those are all good answers. All right, last one for you, because I don't know how much we've talked about this in the past. If you were on an island and you could only have the entire catalog, but only one band or artist, who is that band or artist you're going to listen to for the rest of your life?
Oh man, I'm going to get
only one, Mike.
I'm going to get beat up for this one, but I'm going to say one of my all-time favorite artists. Dan, I know you do like EDM. It would be. And this is actually, I should have said this guy for the last question. Avicii, probably. I absolutely love Avicii in his short but incredibly powerful career. I just think I've listened to so many Avicii tracks over the years and so many fun times. I would have to say that.
That's a brilliant answer.
And today's, I think today is National Vinyl Day too. From that,
so Avicii on vinyl. By the way,
it sounds better.
Are you aware of Glenn, our good friend of the show? Says that you're dodging him in Golden Tee. Is there a big Golden Tee match coming up with you and Glenn?
Not that I know of, but I'm always down for Golden Tee. Always.
Glenn wants to play some Golden Tee. I love Golden Tee.
Yeah.
All right, Sully, before we let you go, we do this on every show. I want to give you a chance to give your parting shots, whatever you want to say to the people out there. It's been awesome as always being with you.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, I just want to say that there's very few people in our business, and you and I have talked about this off the air, but I'll say it on the air now. Because, I feel very strongly about this. There's very few people that I know that are as talented as you, as real as you, and as willing to do whatever it takes to be successful.
Yes,
and we had a connection going way back to when you were that intern with Doug and Scott. And I have a lot of respect for you. I appreciate you as a friend, and I want nothing but the best for you going forward.
You as well, Dan, and Dave. Obviously been great knowing you all over the years and whatnot. I look forward to us all golfing again soon. Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you for having me on, and
of course.
And I guess the final words I would say is, just kind of twofold. First off, I immensely just appreciate all of the nice words and nice wishes and nice messages people have sent me as I've switched my career the past few weeks, and that it means more to me than you know. It really does, and I take that very seriously. All of the messages from listeners, it means so much to me, and that means a ton. I just appreciate it and value it more than you know. And, secondly, and I wasn't, it was the week my first week that I wasn't on. So I never really got to talk about it on air, but of course, just one more time about Jamie and then the life that he lived and just how much we'll all miss him and how great of a guy he was. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. But, Jamie was just such a genuine guy, and we'll certainly all miss him. And he was just that type of guy that always made you better. And rest in peace. Still can't believe I'm saying that, but rest in peace to him. God bless Christy and their entire family. And thank you for all that Jamie has done for me over the years and in our friendship. It's something that I'll never forget.
Beautifully said, Mike. Dave, and I know Dave, you got something golf related you wanted to show Mike as well.
Well, we usually do a household item of the day. I don't know if you had told Mike about the household item of the day.
I've watched the show before, yeah.
But what I do have, and I might have shown this before, but in honor of Sully, is a Tiffany and Company paperweight golf ball.
Oh, God.
That was that Glenn had on his desk.
What is that worth? About $5,000?
I don't know, but I inherited it after he passed away. And
wow.
It is you can see it's a all crystal Tiffany and Company golf ball paperweights. I don't know who uses paperweights anymore.
I need one of those for our office.
You know,
that's sweet.
Yeah, Dave, send it over to the 25. Right now.
I might have to send it over to you when I can get 25? If I can get a private tour of the new offices.
Oh, please! I'd love.
I might just bring this over to you because you probably could use it better than me.
I will. You are welcome to. It's sick up there. We got on the 5th floor. You can in Royal Oak. You can see downtown Detroit.
Cool. Sweet. All right.
And we definitely were excited about our MDG.
You know, I do want to say, I did work with Jamie back 2002 to 2007 at WDFN. He was great. You know, I did work closely with him. I had some interactions with him. My short time at Intercom. And having a mother who has been a colon cancer survivor since she was 38 and she's now 77, please go and get tested. If it's you catch it early, and it is one of the easier ones to cure and get under control. And I'll just end by saying good luck to Sully. You know, I know you'll do well. We'll be expecting that swag any day now at the Dan Leach Task Force LLC offices.
I got you guys.
And I will end the show by saying, my favorite TV coach, Coach Eric Taylor, Friday Night Lights. He would always say, leading into the game, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
No doubt, guys. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, Sully, thank you. And as I always like to say, spread love, not hate. Wash those hands. Be kind to each other. Queen Victoria, we love you.
Good to meet you again.
The best. Can't wait to see you soon. Mike, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon, all right? Thanks again.
For Mike Sullivan, Dave Ringer, the Kingpin, I'm Dan Leach. See you next time on the Task Force. Until then, believe in the dream.